Hello and welcome to Angular CLI recipes. My name is Orestes Carrasito and I'm going to be your guide as you learn to master the Angular CLI and improve your productivity. I've always dreamed of making coding my full-time job, and after a few years of tinkering and learning on my own, I'm happy to say that I've been a professional software developer for a long time. In my career, I've held different positions at different companies and industries, ranging from developer to just a web developer to a chief technology officer. I'm currently working as a software engineer focused on data visualization and integration. When I started to write software, most applications were specific for Windows, Mac, or Linux. With the advances in web technology, most modern software runs in a web browser today, making the experience a lot more inclusive. I really care about the web as a platform, and I'm really convinced that access to the internet is making our world a better place. If you want to catch up, you can check out my website or ping me on Twitter at OrestesCA. Let's take a look at the contents of this course. First, we'll set up Angular CLI and learn about why it exists and which problems it solves for us. On section 2, we're going to go over app generation and configuration, as well as scripting and running common tasks, and linting our code to ensure we're following the Angular style guide. Next, we'll dive deep into feature generation using Angular CLI, which is probably the feature that you're going to be using the most of the time. We'll also talk about workspace structure and how to make your code available as a library. On the next section, we'll look into schematics, which power the code generation in Angular CLI. We'll learn about how they work and how you can define your own in your apps and libraries. In section 5, we're going to talk about the build process, why we even need it in the first place, and how to customize it. We'll take a look at how to add custom resources and how to make sure your app doesn't get out of control. We'll also dive into the internationalization process as part of your build and how to generate multiple optimized versions of your app to target different languages. Next, we're going to learn about how Angular CLI helps us generate and then run unit and end-to-end tests, how testing works in Angular apps, and how to keep our code under control by paying attention to code metrics. And finally, in section 7, we're going to go through common recurrent issues that pop up when working with Angular CLI, like compilation issues, networking, and dependency issues, as well as how to debug your Angular apps. To follow along, you will need to have some basic coding skills and be familiar with the code editor or IDE so you can write your own code. You should also be familiar with JavaScript and understand its syntax. Finally, you should know a little bit about the Angular framework. Maybe even haven't written some AngularJS applications in the past, but more importantly, you should be interested in it and wanting to get a better understanding of the tools and configuration for modern Angular development. The main goal of the course is to help you have an overview of the development cycle and have you work through all of the areas that you'll need when developing a great Angular app. In my years of experience with Angular, I've found that people usually encounter more or less the same kinds of problems. So this course is here to help you with those as well. If you already know Angular, this course will help you become more productive, teaching you about some of the best practices and advanced techniques like internationalization, and providing you with quick tips and shortcuts that you can incorporate in your day-to-day coding. Finally, this course provides you with real examples, writing a simple app that you can easily understand and see used through the entire course, providing you with the full source code for it.